You open the fridge at the end of the day, already a bit tired, hoping dinner will make itself obvious. The light comes on. For a second, it looks as if there's plenty in there. A bag of salad, a tub of yogurt, some vegetables in the drawer, a few jars in the door, leftovers in containers, half a lemon wrapped badly, something you bought earlier in the week because at the time it felt like a sensible idea. Then you look properly. The spinach has sunk into the corner of the bag. The cucumber is soft at one end. There's a sauce jar with a crust around the lid, a container at the back that you don't quite trust. Something has gone past its use-by date, not by much, perhaps, but enough to make you pause. And that is the strange feeling. The fridge is full, but it doesn't feel useful. So you close the door, stand in the kitchen for a moment, and think, there's nothing to eat. But there is. There's probably enough food in there for a meal, maybe more than one. The problem is that the fridge has stopped giving you clear information. It has become a cold little cupboard of half-decisions. You can't quickly see what needs using. You can't remember what you bought. You're not sure which leftovers are still fine. And at the end of a long day, that uncertainty feels like effort. So instead of cooking from what is already there, you buy more. Another salad bag, another packet of something, another jar of sauce, another easy dinner from outside the home. Then a few days later, you throw away the thing you meant to use. Food waste can look like carelessness from the outside, but in normal daily life, it's often quieter than that. It's not always laziness. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not someone being irresponsible on purpose. Sometimes it's simply a fridge where food disappears from attention. That is why a Japanese-inspired fridge reset can be so useful. It treats the fridge not as a place where food is hidden away, but as a small, working system. And like many Kaizen habits, it doesn't depend on a big clean-out or a sudden burst of motivation. It depends on a small reset, repeated often enough to stop the chaos building up. Kaizen is often translated as continuous improvement, but in the home, it doesn't need to sound grand. It can be very ordinary. It can mean noticing something while it is still small and adjusting it before it becomes a problem. A fridge reset is not a deep clean. It's not a full kitchen reorganization. It's not spending half of Sunday labeling containers and trying to become a completely different kind of person by Monday morning. It is a short, practical habit that helps your food become visible again. And the timing makes a difference. Most people deal with the fridge when they are already hungry, already rushing, or already putting away new shopping. That means the fridge gets handled at the exact moment when attention is lowest. You are tired. You want the task finished. You push things in wherever they fit. The reset gives you a better moment. You choose a small window before shopping, before cooking, or perhaps the evening before bin day. You open the fridge with one quiet purpose: to see what is there before it turns into waste. The first step is simple. Take things out. Not everything onto the counter in a dramatic pile. Not in a way that turns the whole kitchen into a project. Just one shelf at a time. Clear the top shelf. Put the items where you can see them, then the middle shelf, then the drawer. If the fridge is very full, do less. Keep the task small enough that you don't feel trapped halfway through. This matters because food hidden in the fridge stops feeling like food. It becomes background noise. Once it is in front of you, your mind can sort it much more easily. You notice the 2 open tubs of cream cheese, the carrots under the lettuce, the mushrooms you forgot you bought, the leftovers that need eating tonight, or need to be let go of honestly. Visibility changes the decision. Then, before you put things back, wipe the shelf. Quickly. not perfectly. A damp cloth across the surface, a wipe under the jars, a quick check for small spills, loose herbs, or that sticky ring where something leaked and nobody wanted to deal with it at the time. This small act does more than clean the fridge. It breaks the old pattern for a moment. It makes the space feel cared for again. And when a space feels cared for, we tend to behave a little differently inside it. Not perfectly, just a little better. That is one of the quiet strengths of simple home systems. They don't force better behavior. They make it easier to begin. Next, group the food by type. Vegetables together. Dairy together. Cooked leftovers together. Raw meat or fish safely sealed and kept separate. Sauces together. Snacks together. Breakfast items together, if that is how your household actually uses them. The categories don't need to be clever. They just need to make sense to you. The point is that each kind of food has somewhere to go. A messy fridge makes every search feel new. You open the door and scan the whole thing from scratch. Where's the cheese? Have we still got yogurt? Did we already open a jar of pesto? Is there cooked rice somewhere, or did we finish it? That scanning takes more energy than people realize. And when you're tired, even small amounts of searching can make cooking feel heavier than it really is. A grouped fridge reduces the number of decisions. You don't need to search the whole space. You know where to look. You know roughly what belongs where. The system does some of the remembering for you. This is why simple-looking systems often last longer than impressive ones. A complicated system can look wonderful on the first day, but if it needs too much maintenance, it quietly falls apart. A simple system, repeated often, becomes familiar, and familiar is what a busy home needs. Once the food is grouped, bring the soon-to-expire items forward. This is one of the most useful parts of the whole reset. Most fridges accidentally reward forgetting. New food goes at the front because it has just been bought. Older food gets pushed back. The things that most need your attention become the hardest to see. So the reset reverses that. The older yogurt comes forward. The open sauce comes forward. The cooked chicken comes forward. The softening vegetables come forward. The salad that needs eating today goes where your eyes naturally land. The aim is not to make the fridge look perfect. The aim is to make the next sensible choice obvious. In a calmer kitchen, the question is not always, what do I feel like eating from every possible option? At the end of the day, that question can feel strangely heavy. A better question is, what needs using first, and what could it become? That small shift can save a lot of food, because it gives attention to the food that is already asking for it. Then create one small Eat First box. This can be a clear container, a shallow tray, or just one agreed section of a shelf. It doesn't need to look beautiful. It just needs to be easy to notice. The Eat First box is where you place the small, awkward, easily forgotten things. Half a pepper, a few cooked potatoes, open tofu, a lemon wedge, a small handful of grated cheese, leftover roasted vegetables, a spoonful of curry in a container, a yogurt close to its date, a few slices of ham, herbs that are beginning to droop. These things rarely feel like a meal on their own, but they can finish a meal. They can become an omelet, fried rice, soup, a sandwich, a jacket potato topping, a quick pasta, a salad bowl, a wrap, a simple breakfast. The Eat First box works because it gathers the loose ends. Instead of remembering 10 little fragments scattered around the fridge, you only need to look in one place. This is especially useful because waste often hides in food that feels too small to matter. No one throws away half a tomato and thinks, "This is a major financial decision." No one feels dramatic about a small scoop of rice or a few tired herbs. But across a week, these little losses add up. And more than that, they create a feeling that food is always slipping away from you. The Eat First box gives those small things one more chance to be useful. After that, write down 3 meals you could make from what remains. Not a full meal plan, just 3 possibilities. This step matters because a reset can leave you with a tidy fridge, but still no idea what dinner is. So look at what you have and write 3 simple lines. Mushrooms, spinach, eggs, omelette. Cooked rice, carrots, peas, soy sauce, fried rice. Chicken, lettuce, cucumber, yogurt, wraps with a quick dressing. Or pasta with the open sauce and roasted vegetables. Soup with tired carrots and lentils. Jacket potatoes with cheese and leftover beans. Noodles with tofu and spring onions. Toast with eggs and the last of the tomatoes. These meals don't need to be impressive. They need to be available. This is where the behavior becomes practical. When you're tired, you usually don't follow your best intentions. You follow the easiest, visible path. So the fridge reset creates that path before you need it. A clear shelf. Food grouped by type. Older items at the front. 1 Eat First box. 3 meals written down. Now dinner begins with less investigation. And this changes shopping as well. Before you go to the supermarket, check the fridge. Not after you've made a list from memory. Not while standing in the aisle trying to remember whether there are tomatoes at home. Before you leave, open the fridge and look. This is where overspending can quietly reduce. Many people don't buy duplicates because they are careless. They buy duplicates because the kitchen hasn't given them clear information. The fridge is crowded, so memory fills in the gaps. And memory is not always reliable when life is busy. You think you need milk, but there's an unopened bottle at the back. You buy another bag of carrots, though there is already half a bag in the drawer. You buy a second jar of sauce because the first one is hidden behind taller bottles. You buy salad again, even though the last bag is already beginning to wilt. A quick fridge check turns the shopping list from a guess into a response. It also changes the mood of shopping. You are not shopping from panic, appetite, or habit. You are shopping with a clearer picture of what your home actually needs. This doesn't mean buying almost nothing. It doesn't mean trying to make food perfectly efficient. Food is not a spreadsheet. Homes need flexibility. Plans change. Children refuse things they liked last week. Work runs late. Someone isn't hungry. A meal gets moved. A takeaway happens. The fridge reset is not there to punish normal life. It is there to reduce the quiet waste that comes from not being able to see. A useful rhythm is to reset the fridge twice a week. One small reset before the main food shop. Another small reset in the middle of the week, when leftovers and fresh food are most likely to drift into confusion. For some homes, Sunday evening and Wednesday evening work well. For others, it might be the morning before the bins go out, or just before the usual online food order. The best time is not the ideal time. It is the time you can actually repeat. And that is a very Kaizen way to think about it. The system should fit the real shape of your life, not the neat version of life you imagine when you're feeling organized. If 10 minutes feels too much, start with 3. Open the fridge. Move 3 things that need using to the front. Make one Eat First box. Write 1 meal idea. That still counts. Small systems work because they lower the starting line. They make the next action feel less heavy. And when something is easy to begin, it is much more likely to happen again. Over time, a fridge reset teaches a different kind of attention. You start noticing food earlier. You cook more often from what is already there. You buy fewer duplicates. You trust your fridge more. You stop treating it like a cold cupboard where things vanish and begin treating it like a quiet map of the next few meals. There is something calming about opening a fridge and understanding it quickly. Not because it is perfect, because it is readable. You can see the vegetables. You know which leftovers need eating. You know which sauce is already open. You know what meal could happen tonight without starting from nothing. That kind of clarity changes the feeling of the kitchen. A chaotic fridge makes cooking feel like work before the work has even begun. A clear fridge removes the first layer of resistance. It gives your attention somewhere to land. And often, that is enough. A better dinner does not always begin with a new recipe. Sometimes it begins with moving the older food forward. A calmer food budget does not always begin with a strict plan. Sometimes it begins with knowing what you already bought. Less waste does not always require more discipline. Sometimes it requires a shelf that tells the truth. So the next time you open the fridge and feel that familiar thought, there's nothing to eat, pause for a moment. Look again. Take a few things out. Wipe the shelf. Group what belongs together. Move the older food forward. Build a small Eat First box. Write down 3 simple meals from what is already there. The fridge does not need to be impressive. It needs to be clear enough to help you. Because a clear fridge helps you eat better, waste less, and shop with a steadier mind. And in daily life, that is often how calm is built. Not through one grand change, but through small resets that make tomorrow a little easier than today.